I'll message staff to get them back on open game. Okay, everybody is back. Thank you. I will report out of close. Council met in closed session and discussed several reports today for information. They include the QP negotiation updates, there were staffing matters, 2026 compensation review, the interim integrity commissioner pricing proposals. We also looked at volunteer applications and civic award nominations. And council provided staff with direction and will proceed as discussed during close. Did I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Booth, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stover. All in favor? That's carried. Moving on to 6 of the open session, approval of the minutes. We have the adoption of the council meeting minutes from May 12th, the municipal planning regular council meeting, May 26th, and a special council meeting held on the 29th of May. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, seconded by, need a seconder, thank you, Councillor Booth. I'll read the resolution that the minutes of the following meetings be approved, and then we'll open it up for any comments. May 12th, 2026 regular council meeting, May 26th, 2026 municipal planning / regular council meeting, and May 29th special council meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Next, we have the approval of the committee of the whole committee meeting minutes of May 19th. It is recommended that Council of the Corporation of Township and Elwood enact as follows: that the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting held on May 19th, 2026 be adopted. Will I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? That motion's carried. Next, we have 7-1 Wicklow Beach launch dredging and revenue generation. It is recommended that Council of the Township of Elwood act as follows. The council received the report, Wicklow Beach launch dredging and revenue generation, and the council approved the timeline for the dredging of the Wicklow Beach launch. Excuse me, and council direct staff to explore the feasibility of implementing a structured fee system for the Wicklow boat launch in 2027, including potential payment options and enforcement mechanisms, with a report being provided to council by the end of 2026. Did I get a mover in a second? Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Ainsworth. Does anybody have any? I guess
Zach is on.
Oh, Zach is online. So if you have any questions on the report, please indicate so. Go ahead, Councillor O'Neill.
I'm just wondering what the condition of the launch is at this point and what you foresee as the conditions over the course of the summer.
Zach, you have a comment on that? There you are. Hello, Zach. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Thank you, Zach.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So current conditions on Wicklow are the dock is in and there have been boats using it. The water level is currently around 1 foot higher than it usually is on average. And we've had, like I said, no incidents or any reports saying it's going to be a problem. The water level is expected to stay that way for the rest of the summer due to conditions. So that was why the recommendation was made for the dredging to be done in early April of 2027.
Thank you, Zach. Any further questions or comments? Councilor Ainsworth.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. No, I just want to comment on this report. It's probably long overdue for the township when it comes to fee schedule for that area. I mean, if you look around to the rest of our residents, the rest of our neighbors, they probably already have this process in place. Some do it differently. Some just charge a parking pass, and some charge a boat launch fee. And but I think tried and true and tested would be the one that Cobourg, the town of Cobourg has. But this is, like I say, just reiterate, this is long overdue. I think it's a great idea to cover some costs for that area.
Go ahead, Zach.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, I agree. So I've done research on some of the boat launches in the vicinity, and we had recommended pricing that we were looking at, and the recommended pricing that we were looking at was approximately $5 per use, which would be per day, and then maybe a $25 to a dollar fee that would last per season. So that would be about 5 launches, and that season would be from April, May, all the way through to September. So one of the other things we looked at as well is how we would implement such a fee. And there were a couple options available. The first one was to ask for simply potentially a donation or just to raise awareness this year with a sign basically saying that, we will be instituting fees just to get people used to that. So there were no surprises. And then the second point I wanted to make is that we actually have a potential module with the ActiveNet software that we purchased that would allow for a QR code to be paid in that manner. So we could put up a sign in 2027, which would allow users to basically register through the QR code at the boat launch, and it would actually be paid through ActiveNet, which is software we already have. That module is not currently set up, but my preliminary research tells us that it is available and that shouldn't be a major setup to get that done. So we had contemplated as staff basically using, like I said, 2026 is kind of a trial run for maybe potentially, I won't call it a donation, but for fees that we could use. And then with Paul, I talked about it and we decided to just move forward with 2027, but potentially using a sign for some kind of awareness to say, Wicklow Boat Launch is an amazing piece of property within the municipality. In order to keep serving it and in order to keep, dredging it like we're supposed to between every 5 and 7 years, that we should be raising funds and instituting a launch fee. So with that, I think, awareness to the community will allow that to happen. And I believe it's one of the only, if not the only, free boat launch left between here and Toronto at this point. So I think we should be taking advantage of trying to raise funds for that. And of course, putting that towards future dredging, improvements to the dock, and also maybe some other things at Wicklow, like bathrooms and stuff like that as well. So.
Thank you, Zach. Any other questions? Go ahead, Councilor Ainsworth.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. I just want to note that a lot of the bylaws for boat launching, they have like a resident rate and a non-resident rate. So maybe something we could look into when the next report comes back to us.
Good point, thank you. Other questions or comments? Just from a governance standpoint of view, Zach, I believe the Lower Trent and the ocean, I'm not sure what the terminology is, have needs that you have to complete before this work can be done. Will they be able to give them this year for next year's April launch?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, absolutely. So there are at least three different organizations that we need to get permits from. One is Lower Trent, one is the Fisheries, and then Minister Environment as well. So, and then of course we actually have to coordinate that with the salmon spawning season and making sure there's an additional time period that works for them. So if we started this process essentially now, we would be able to hit the ground running in early 2027 with a lot of this stuff already filed and made. I did get a package that I looked through, which was basically done in, I believe, through Chris Kerwin in 2021, and that was quite an extensive package that detailed all the different drawings. So we can reuse a lot of that information, also for the RFP at that point. And another option as well is to talk to Coburg as well and see if there's options to rent their dredging equipment or to see where they got it from. So,
Thank you. Seeing, anybody else have any other questions? Great report, Zach. Thank you very much. You get it, moving stuff. Oh, still, okay. So we do have a mover for the staff report. Mover and seconder. Any further questions? Zach, all in favor?
I do not know.
Go ahead. All in favor? Yep. Thank you. Do you have another comment, Zach? Is that what you're saying? Actually, unless it's to do with this, we really can't talk about it. Okay, I'm gonna read the next portion of this, which is a deferred motion from May 26, 2026. Held at the planning regular council meeting by RES 2026-0526-11. And that is that the council of the corporation of the township of Allen enact as follows: that the staff be authorized to use the full amount available in the dredging reserves to dredge the Wicklow boat launch. Greg, have you? Yeah, Greg, we've lost you.
No, I'm here. It's you're cutting in and out, so sometimes I stop my video and it helps it stream through.
You're back.
I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Mover and seconder. Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councilor Ainsworth. All in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have recommendations from the Committee of the Whole. And it is recommended that recommendations 1 to 3 from the May 19, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting be approved. That is recommendation number 1, the council approve the donation policy. Recommendation number 2, that the council support the correspondence from the municipality of Shunana regarding extending the community infrastructure fund. And recommendation number 3, that the council support the correspondence from the Eastern Ontario Warden's Caucus regarding a call to return to property tax reassessment cycle. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor O'Neill, seconded by Councilor Ainsworth. Any discussion on those? Councilor Ainsworth.
Through you, Mayor, I have some concerns with recommendation 3. I would like to be able to see that whole report if the province was to get this reassessment cycle on the go again. I think it would probably scare a lot of residents right now if we were to recommend something like this to go through and maybe not have all the details about it, whether it's going to be, one big amount, or whether it's going to be phased in different amounts throughout a year or something like that. So that would be my caution to this, is how it's all going to be rolled out. I would definitely like to see that before I would make any recommendations from anybody.
Thank you. Other comments? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Next we have human resources support for ongoing union negotiations. It is recommended the council of the corporation of the township of Allen McCollum enact as follows. That an additional $60,000 for HR support services from Doucette HR Consulting Investigations and for legal support services from Hicks Morley for union contract negotiations be approved. And that the additional $60,000 be funded from the working capital allocated within the general governance reserve. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Ainsworth. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Stover. Any discussions? All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have Committee of the Whole, May 26, 2026. A deferred motion regarding correspondence from the Centerton Union Cemetery Board of Trustees regarding request for fee waiver and loads of gravel. And the recommendation is that the council support the correspondence from the Centerton Union Cemetery Board of Trustees regarding request for fee waiver and loads of gravel. As I recall, they were requesting for one meeting, use of the Centerton Hall, and they were asking for, I believe, 2 loads of gravel for the, to repair their driveways going into the cemetery. Go ahead, Councilor Booth.
Through you, your worship. Yes, before we make that motion, the question was asked at our last meeting, what were the 2 loads of gravel going to cost us?
That's that one.
Okay, Madam Clerk has an answer for us. Go ahead, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, staff reached out to Public Works staff and were provided that 2 loads of gravel would be cost between $500 and $550 plus HST. And the fee waiver for the Centerton Community Center would be $75 plus HST. It was available at the time that we inquired, and I believe it's on hold, but I can't comment further as to whether or not it's been booked since.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilor Booth.
So just clarification, is that $500 per load, or does that mean $250 per load times 2?
Madam Clerk.
I can't comment any further, for you, Mr. Mayor. The prices we were provided from Public Works was up to $550. We did ask for 2 loads. That's the information that's come to me secondhand, so.
Councilor Ainsworth.
Yeah, this one here, I kind of wanted, like, you know, I would be in support of it, but I think in the future, this group needs to come to council before the budget. So this is put right into the budget with all the other honorariums.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councilor Booth.
My thoughts, I have no problem room rental. I don't think it's a good council to be approving the gravel. I think it sets a precedent that we're going to have other groups come to us and ask for things like this. And I agree with Councilor Ainsworth. This is something, I guess my question would be is what department, who pays for this $550 then? Does that come out of council's money? Does that come out of Public Works money? It's not accounted for in a budget anywhere, so it's not fair to be putting this on somebody's department. So I would not be in favor of the gravel. And like I said, I think it sets a precedent that you're going to get other groups coming to us and asking for freebies this way.
Thank you.
Next.
We haven't had it, actually, we should make a motion, get it on the table first before we continue to debate. So can I get a mover and a seconder? Oh, I have, staff as a comment though, before we do that. Go ahead, staff.
It adds though to the conversation, so you might want to get it moved, get it on.
Okay, we now moved by Councilor O'Neill.
Sorry to Mayor
Are
Logal,
you
I'm
moving it?
moving that we approve today the use of the hall for their Decoration Day Sunday. So that's my motion, is approving that piece.
I'll second that.
And, Councilor Booth wishes to second? Okay, you're open for comments. Councilor O'Neill.
So, I'm picking up a bit on what Councillor Booth has been saying. I think they're two different items and Councillor Ainsworth made a good point. They need to be added to the list. So when, that's being sent out in the fall, making sure that they receive, make your request now, information would be good. I think that we need to think more thoroughly about this gravel thing, because I think the cemeteries are by definition very different than anything else, because by default, as soon as a church or a community group stops taking care of graveyard, it becomes municipal responsibility. So, I mean, I can make an argument that if we do work on it now, it's only work that we will have to do in the future, or we won't have to do in the future if we do it now, because anyway, it won't. That's my reasoning. And I think looking forward at cemeteries, I know it's a hot issue across the province and it will continue to be.
Thank you. Councilor, Deputy Mayor Stover, pardon me.
The one comment that came with this that we're not sure how affluent this organization is. Most times for decoration days, donations come in. So it's a significant cost with the $500 plus HST. So with that and the hall rental, we're getting pretty close to $700. So I would be in favor of the hall, but not the gravel at this time. Thank you.
Go ahead, CEO.
To address Councillor Booth's question with respect to costing, my understanding on a tandem axle gravel truck, we would be $550 per load. So I think that you can accept that as information, if you wish. The other thing is, my recommendation to council would be that this would be a 2027 budget item. If council desired to contribute to the cemeteries, and it may be something that they direct staff to engage with the public with respect to how the cemeteries, or if there's any groundskeepers, etc., through our Parks and Rec department, to address the dollars and where it would come from. If council were to approve gravel to the cemetery, it would come directly from the Public Works Department budget. And then if council wanted to suggest to staff that it get invoiced through the cemetery budget, then we could do that. But initially it would be Public Works unless other direction from that.
Councilor O'Neill.
I think that aligns with the motion we have on the floor and all the conversation that I have heard. So we're approving the use of the space immediately, and we're directing them to submit for the gravel as part of the 2027 budget request.
Thank you. Councilor Booth, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I agree with what everybody's saying and what the CAO said. I would prefer next year to let them put it in the budget, and then it can be properly put in the budget for the cemetery. And that's where it should come out of. It wouldn't be fair for it to come out of Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
I have one final comment, if I could, and it's a cautionary one. That we do have several private, and I consider this to be a private cemetery. We do have several other ones in the township that probably all need gravel and this, that, and the other type of thing. So I caution us to, where do you put the line on it? That's my only thought. So, duly moved and seconded that we give them the use of the hall for the 1 day or rest of the proper day, and that we hold off for consideration for the gravel to 2027. All in favor? That's carried. Senator Committee report. reports, Haldeman Community Memorial Arena and Recreation Complex Advisory Committee. Their minutes from June 3rd, 2026. And the Haldeman Memorial Arena and Recreational Complex Facility Fundraising Ad Hoc Committee. From their meeting of June the 23rd, 2026. And the 2026 donation and recognition levels draft. And I'll read the recommendation and then we can open it up for questions. It is recommended the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Alamo Haldeman act as follows, that the Haldeman Memorial Arena and Recreation Complex Advisory Committee meeting minutes from June 3rd be received for information. Recommendation 1, that the committee recommends the council approve the donations and fundraising recognition levels, Haldeman Community Memorial Arena and Recreational Complex fundraising campaigns. And recommendation number 2, the committee recommends to council that staff review the donor bill of rights and that council endorse the donor bill of rights. Did I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stover. Are there any questions or comments on those 2 recommendations? Councillor Ainsworth.
Through you, Mayor. If I could, I'd like to talk a little bit about the donor recognition. And just so everybody knows that how that's kind of laid out. So it's basically different dollar values. If a donor comes in with like $500,000 or $1 million, they have the opportunity to come and sit down with staff and talk about a different recognition. What might be, as we talked about, you know, maybe their name on the clock, maybe the canteen, maybe the dressing room doors, that kind of stuff. But basically the rest of all the donations are going to be put on like a puck board and that will be put up in the arena for a certain amount of time after after the grand opening from the renovations. So this is kind of the last piece to all the fundraising committee for us to put together to get out and start talking to donors and stuff. So after today, when this is okayed, we're literally ready to hit the ground running and some knocking on some doors. I will inform the council that we do have our anonymous donor has finally okayed, and I'm sure that staff is working on it today to get the donation brought into the township, so that everybody knows it's.
Mike,
Yep.
we're all way off subject as far as you're getting into dollars and cents.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I just wanted to kind of let everybody know what's going on and that we do have one big donation coming in this week.
Thank you. Councillor O'Neill.
I just want to acknowledge the committee members. They are methodical and hardworking and much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Very good point. Other comments? I have a question for you, Mike, and maybe staff as well. I agree with Councillor O'Neill that they have done some great work. I'm just wondering if everything is on the website and people can, if they wish, they can look up and see how to go about making a donation and all of the different stuff that's needed. Is that available?
We probably have to ask Cassidy that just to make sure, unless Madam Clerk has that information with her.
They're in the final preparation to finish it completely, is what I'm told by Madam Clerk, but they're very close to being done.
I will say, Mayor, that all the draft stuff's done for us. You know, we have some printouts and stuff. All the members of the committee have some stuff that they can take now to people. So I know it's just a matter of getting the rest of it, or if, like I say, on the website.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I'll read the recommendations over again, that the Alden Memorial Arena and Recreation Complex Advisory Committee reading minutes from the June 3rd, 26 be received for information, and that recommendation 1, the committee recommends the council approve the donations and recognition levels, Alden Community Memorial Arena and Recreational Complex fundraising campaigns, and recommendation 2, the committee recommend to council that staff review the donor bill of rights and the council endorse the donor bill of rights. Mover and a seconder. Oh, I've got the mover and a seconder. Mike and Joan, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have report 14-1. The Interim Integrity Commissioner and Closed Meeting Investigation Services. Second report, CLK 2026-10. Interim Integrity Commissioner and Closed Meeting Investigation Services. Second report, 09, June 20th, 2026. Is recommended to the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Ballincollig and Nakus Falls. The council received report CLK 2026-10, Interim Integrity Commissioner and Closed Meeting Investigation Services. Second report for information, and that the draft bylaw to appoint an Interim Integrity Commissioner and Closed Meeting Investigator be updated to appoint blank as the township's Interim Integrity Commissioner and Closed Meeting Investigator. I would suggest that if you have one you'd like to nominate and you want to make the motion, now would be the time to do that.
You have a hand.
I have a hand. Moved by, pardon me, the motion is, first to Councillor O'Neill.
I would add in there John Ewart of Ewart O'Dwyer Barristers and Solicitors.
What was that? Oh, you're putting in the name, okay. Thank you. I need a seconder for that. Seconded by Councillor Booth. Discussion? Go ahead, Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, and thank you for this report. I appreciate that it aligns with our procedural bylaw and that I've been provided extensive information about each of the very qualified potential candidates. So much appreciated. I'm looking at John Ewart as someone who is already the Integrity Commissioner for a number of municipalities locally and seems to have vast experience, and everything about his approach seems to be very straightforward. So based on what I've got in front of me, that's my my gut feeling on where to go.
Somebody else had their hand up and I didn't get it written down. Councillor Ainsworth.
Through you, Mayor, I would like to put another name towards that also. Or do I have to make another motion?
Yeah, we're debating this one right now.
Okay.
So if you have a comment on this one, please go ahead.
No, the comment is that they're all pretty decent, and they all have a great background. Just Ewart isn't the one that I would pick.
Thank you. Other comments? Councillor O'Neill, the final one?
Yes, I do. I also appreciate the pricing structure, that it's straightforward and manageable.
Good, thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you. Bylaws, bylaw 2026-43, authorizing the submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, OILC, debenture application. It is recommended the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Ballincollig enact as follows. That bylaw 2026-43 being a bylaw to authorize the submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 9th day of June 2026. Mover and a seconder. I may have lost you, but I believe you're back on. Did you get a chance to hear that, or
Yes.
go ahead, Councillor Ainsworth? You're moving? Councillor Ainsworth moved, seconder. Deputy Mayor Stover, discussion? Councillor O'Neill.
Just through you to our treasurer, if he's available, what are the steps going from here? I know we're starting the process, but are there any further steps between now and taking this debenture?
Emily Paul's in the meeting.
Yeah, Paul is just waiting to get put on. He's sitting here, so you'll be able to answer that question, or you may have to repeat it, Tim, or Councilor O'Neill. Paul, did you hear the question? He's not on yet, just hold on. Good morning, Paul. Make that afternoon. Did you hear the question, Paul? You must be muted, just hold on.
There you go. No.
Can't hear you. Paul, do you mind coming upstairs? We can't hear you. If you can hear us. I think you're gonna have to come upstairs, Paul, because we can't, we can see you, but you're. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining. You wanna sit there? Sure. Did you hear the?
I did, yeah.
You wanted to repeat it? Okay,
Can I hear me? Everybody hear me?
you can hear? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So I think the question was just about next steps in terms of the debenture. So this bylaw, that's before you is really just approval to submit the application, which we already have approval from council through a previous report. Infrastructure Ontario requires this debenture, it requires this bylaw in order to move forward with the application. So assuming all goes well today and council approves the bylaw, the debenture application will then go through for approval. I've been in discussions with Infrastructure Ontario already, so we've sent them some information and we've kind of been working through the process. So we are anticipating, assuming that bylaw is approved today, that we should receive approval by the end of this week. And then once we receive approval, it will go through to their credit department. We'll look where we will start working on more of the structure of the debenture. And then we will receive a rate letter in a few weeks. And there will be another bylaw that will come to council to actually execute the debenture, probably in about 4 weeks or so. By the time we're ready, the structure's been completed, and we're ready to receive the money. There will be another bylaw that comes to council that will lay out the final rates as well. So we're looking at probably another 4 weeks or so until the money is actually received by the township.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mayor Cathy, you want to follow up?
Yeah, and thank you for that explanation. A question flowing from there. Is there anything a municipality can do to improve its rate that it receives?
So the rates that we get from Infrastructure Ontario are those are the best rates any municipality is going to get. They do provide discounted rates to municipalities. There's nothing, all the municipalities that are applying for a debenture are going to see the same rates from Infrastructure Ontario. So it's really just, they're indicative of the market too, so there's not much we can do.
Okay, thank you.
But maybe to follow up, once they approve the loan and the rates go down or up, do you use that one or is it when you first get your money with us?
So through the chair, once we get our rate letter, that will lock in the rate for the term of the debenture. So
Even
it
if we
won't
don't
change
use it
that.
for 6 months?
That's right.
Okay, fine, thank you. Other questions from council? Okay. Yeah, it's been moved by and seconded. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have bylaw 2026-44 to appoint an integrity commissioner and closed meeting investigator for the township of Alamo. Thank you, Paul. Bylaw 2026-44 appoint integrity commissioner, closed meeting investigator for the township. It is recommended the council of the corporation of township of Alamo enact as follows. The bylaw 2026-44 being a bylaw to appoint an integrity commissioner, closed meeting investigator for the township of Alamo Cullivan, given a first, second, and third reading, and finally passed this 19th day of June 2026. Mover and seconder. Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Booth. Any further discussions? All in favor? That's carried. Confirming bylaw 2026-45, confirming bylaw 2026-45, confirming bylaw. It is recommended the corporation of the township of Alamo Cullivan enact as follows. That bylaw 2026-45 being a bylaw to adopt the proceedings of the regular council meeting held on the 9th day of June 2026, and to authorize its execution be given a first, second, and third reading, and finally pass this 19th day of June 2026. Do I get a mover in a second? Moved by Deputy Mayor Silver, seconded by Councilor O'Neill. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion is carried. And adjournment. That the meeting be closed at 12:15. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor O'Neill. Seconded by Councilor Booth. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a safe day.